Everybody, welcome back. This is What Elon Said with Kevin and Mark, and today is March 20th. It's a Sunday, special weekend edition here, and we're going to catch up on what Elon Musk liked on Twitter over the weekend. So we'll dive right in. This dates back a few days here, and this is SpaceX announcing that targeting Friday, March 18th for Falcon 9 launch of 53 Starlink satellites to orbit from SLC 40 in Florida. And they provide the live launch link there. So we know that that was successful. They took up 53 Starlink satellites, and a record for the largest payload at 16 plus metric tons, and also the 12th time that the stage 1 booster returned to the drone ship and was reused. So another awesome successful launch for SpaceX.
Yeah, very impressive. And Elon also liked a lot of cool things with the companies today that he's liking. We have Gail Alfar noted that Tesla Giga Texas is looking really beautiful this morning. Just a nice visual of what's happening there. I don't know if she has a drone that she has gone around the facilities or how the shot was taken, but you see they're constantly building at Giga Texas. Sure, the opening day will be very soon, but very cool to see.
Yeah, very cool. There's actually some additional shots too, and one thing that I noted here was she mentions that the faint beginnings of the letter E in Tesla Giga Texas roof is going to welcome people nicely when they fly into Austin. So yeah, that would be sweet. So I guess there's just going to be a giant Tesla sign on top. But I love these windows. Yep. They're very, I don't know, futuristic looking.
Yes, I like it.
All right, so we got an article here in Tesmanian from Eva Fox. Tesla cars comprised almost 70% of the U.S. EV fleet in Q4 of 2021. So they are way ahead here compared to the other OEMs. And it looks like Nissan is in second place with about 8% of the EV market.
So. Yes, and Elon, we just went through this one the other day. I think this was just a like from the article that he commented on the other day.
Yeah. So we will we'll throw the link for that article in the description below.
Here we have just a little math item that Elon liked. That the main reason that logarithms are such an integral part of the history of math is how they made computation a lot faster. For all positive real numbers, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through all this, but the logarithm makes computation much easier, and it's just a beauty in math that Elon likes.
Yeah.
So just a nice touch for the day. I don't think we need to go into that too much, just that it shows another insight into Elon, which just appreciates beautiful math.
Yeah, it's a cool little animation too.
Yes.
All right, so we have another Tesmanian article here that he liked that was titled Tesla chosen by consumers as the most trusted company to develop fully autonomous vehicles. I thought this was cool. It's an interesting list of companies here. You notice that Apple's in there, just like the only other technology company. Other than, arguably Tesla, if you consider them more of a technology company than an automotive company, but everyone else is an automotive brand. So it's a little bit of cheerleading going on here. I mean, it is a Tesmanian article,
Yes.
But, interesting to see that, if you ask just the general public, who do you think is going to achieve full autonomy first? And I'm thinking this must be in the US, but most people will say Tesla if they're asked that question.
Yes. The only thing I don't know about this survey is one, do they have an option that I don't trust any of them? I don't want them to do it. And two, do they choose what brands? So they had multiple choices over here. So it's interesting to see that some of them might want more than one, but still Tesla's way ahead.
Yeah. Actually, about do they even want them to do it? There was
Yes,
a small paragraph in the article about certain age groups even being interested in full autonomy of vehicles. So it was
Hmm.
like 30 to 39 year olds were the most interested, and actually ticked down
Hmm.
a little bit for younger drivers. I don't know. Maybe that's just that thrill of wanting to drive, wanting
Could be.
wanting to get behind the wheel.
Yes,
But definitely like mid age were the ones most desiring of it, and then as it got older, there was no interest at all.
interesting.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you take this one.
So yes, we have Tesla announced that they recently worked with Neon, which is a energy, like a reusable energy producing company with solar and wind, to deliver one of the largest batteries in the world in Australia. So this huge thing can power 1 million homes for 30 minutes. I don't know if it's meant to be just a backup system, because that doesn't, I mean, it's a lot of homes, but it's a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how powerful these things are, that they're talking to millions they can power now just with reusable energy. And it's only going to go up for here. I mean, these are early days.
Yeah.
So very impressive. I know that Tesla's been involved in a couple of projects in Australia in terms of battery packs, these mega pack farms. So just very excited to see how this grows over time. It's a great first step.
Yeah, and I think it just stimulates the industry and gets some attention, right? And is a real world example of things being done to try to achieve these goals that have been set in place by countries and their governments, which are
That's right.
very aggressive
Absolutely.
goals in many cases that may not be very realistic unless we start doing a lot more of these types of things.
Yes.
So Tesla definitely leading the way there. Next up, we have a accurate meme, I guess, from Sang Affiliated that Elon liked, and it's just an interesting, um, uh, I don't know, diagram here or animation here of you have liberal, libertarian, and conservative, and how people will move around into those groups or those political mindsets, I guess, based on certain occurrences that may happen in their lives. Like a liberal will turn to a conservative if they are mugged, and a
Yes.
conservative will turn liberal because of medical bills. Uh,
Yes.
so
It's pretty
it's, I
funny.
guess, just an interesting thought about how mindsets can change based on our experiences in life.
Yes, each you're pushed each way. Nothing, everything's fluid. You're never one thing forever.
Yeah.
All depends what's happening to you. It's funny.
But he liked that.
Oh
So,
yes, he agrees. It's another insight into his mind.
yep.
Here we have Tola solar roof specs. So this is just a cool thing to see here. They have the warranties, 25 years, a lot of power, just rating. It's very cool. Elon liked it. Although when you go into the comments, a lot of negative feedback, pushback
Really?
on it.
I didn't go
So
down there.
it's a work in progress that a lot of people are saying it's this I'm having put on, it's taken forever. Just the customer service is awful. Other
Well,
people are saying a roof repair is going to cost a fortune now. And then others are saying, I need 50 years. I have to be in my house 50 years for it to pay off. So
mm,
a lot of valid points that they'll overcome over time. I mean, their philosophy is to iterate better.
yeah. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I can't see it being anything other than the future, that all homes will have this. Maybe how long is that timeline? Could be longer than I hope, but yeah, like my understanding in regards to the negative feedback is mostly because of the wait list to get it. Um,
I've heard a lot of people who their projects midway are delayed and delayed as well,
wow. Okay.
just because they don't have the staff and people are quitting or things. They don't have their process really in place yet. So it's a lot of manpower that's in the field. They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of control over.
Mm.
So
I mean,
it's
it's a
ongoing,
dangerous
but it's a
industry to
cool.
begin with
Oh
for
yeah, but it's
workers.
a great technology, and they're just doing, as you can see here, innovative things that no other solar companies are doing.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Lex Friedman here agreeing that with Elon that geniuses are often rejected by society. And a very cute baby taking a unique approach to a classic toy here.
Yes.
Love it. And this was also in relation to that. And it's time for a hug, Elon. It's National Engineers Week. Hug an engineer today. The engineer won't like it, but do it anyway.
That's very funny.
That's cool.
Great stuff.
All right.
Here we have the Falcon 9, just showing, we talked about that it was launching, and it launched, deployed, and landed onto the spaceship drone. Just read the instructions. 12th one successful. So Elon liked it. Very nice.
Yeah. Cool shot there. Video shot.
Oh,
And more
yes.
SpaceX news. Pranay Pathole. This looks like one of the shots that we covered in the last episode that Elon tweeted out or retweeted out from SpaceX. But he says Starship will take humanity to Mars. It will completely change the course of human history. I know
Yes.
we think Elon is a believer of that. All right. We got
This
Tesla
one,
insurance.
yeah. Gail Alfar had an article here that saying, she had an article. She signed up for Tesla insurance. She said her insurance went from $250 a month, I think, to $100 a month. So that's significant savings. And her article outlines three of the main reasons why a Tesla should be your first car. So she's talking to people who are just buying their first car because you think a Tesla is so expensive. But
Yeah.
she gave three key reasons. One was insurance is substantially less. The second is gas, that your cost, she says, from what she's seen, it's about $25 at the most a month for
Yeah.
the electric bill, increasing, could even be lower.
That's a lot
And
cheaper than petrol here. I'll tell you that much. I don't know about in the
yeah,
US.
well,
You might squeak by at $25 a month, but
not
you're
these
not saving
days,
the
not
planet
now.
doing it.
It's doubled in the last 2 months, so
Yeah.
it's almost $5 a gallon now. So, but not as much as by you in Ireland.
No.
And her third reason was maintenance. That everyone she's talked to that has Tesla, their only maintenance they joke around is $7 a year, and that is to change the windshield wiper fluid
Right,
and
right.
windshield wipers. So there's literally no maintenance because there's no moving parts really except for the wheel and the steering wheel. So if you need something with the wheel, it's understandable, or you get a ding.
Yeah,
But the
probably some
overall
tire
oil,
rotation.
yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no engine trouble, no oil changes, no transmission. All these things go away. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of other expenses you don't think about that go up in the lifetime of a car.
Yeah, and she also listed in there which states offer Tesla insurance currently. Right, so
Oh,
she said Tesla insurance in Texas here, but she also listed Arizona, Illinois, Ohio, and Virginia and Oregon soon for those two.
well, pretty good.
I'd like to learn
So it's
more
spreading.
about Tesla insurance. I need to read up on that. I want to know what exactly are they measuring? How do they measure it? How does it translate to rates? How can you, I mean, it's all based on the safety score. I know the safety score related to FSD beta, but I don't know that that's exactly how they run, insurance. It's got to be more complicated than that. But I'd be really intrigued to
Yeah.
know, how often do rates change? A lot of questions that I have about it.
Well, it's funny, like for a lot of insurance now, when you first get it, they give you this little mechanism to put in your car and it tracks your speed at least over time.
Yeah.
And then you have to send it back to them. But with Tesla, I'm sure every second they know. But it would be really interesting to know how it's done. They probably know your speed. They probably know if you're running a stop sign.
Yeah.
They probably know a lot more than
Following
any
too
insurance company
closely,
would know.
braking, harsh
Yeah, following too
braking.
closely. That's
Yeah.
right. There's probably a breathalyzer in the car that you don't know about. Who knows?
Well, and another thought I had was, okay, so you have autopilot and Maybe you
Yeah,
have FSD beta. Do your rates go down if you engage autopilot?
it's a good question.
Because,
That's a great question.
now you're at the
Yeah,
hands of Tesla. So,
that's right. That's right. It could be.
yeah, so lots of open questions for me on that one, and I need to dig
Oh
around some
yeah.
more. And if anyone knows, point me in the right direction in the comments. I would appreciate it. All right, you're the SpaceX guy today. All the
Wow. Okay, so we have more Falcon 9 rocket sets reusable record. We've talked about this 4 times. It's
yeah,
he loves it. There's a webcast of it. So if you want to watch it, definitely jump in there. And it's just amazing that it happened. It's so funny that we have reported on Falcon 9 launches so much that it's becoming just every day.
yeah.
And then
Well, it's
literally
becoming the
just two
norm.
years ago, becoming the norm, and 2 years ago, we were falling off our seats watching those rockets land
Yeah,
for the first time.
yeah. And it's so often now because it's every dang week. So
It's everywhere.
it's in the
Oh, yeah, it's
news.
another,
It's in the Elon
it's like
news.
talking about a tugboat coming into the pier. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming in.
Or a train leaving the station. Another
Yes,
train has left for the day. It's taking people this time instead of just
that's
goods.
right. And it's reusable, that train.
That's right.
Yes.
Here's another SpaceX. You take it.
Engineering is the little quote from Elon that Elon liked his own quote. Engineering is the closest thing to magic that exists in the world, and that's true. That's related to the what is it? Future science is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know what, if it's the first time you're encountering it. I botched that line, but that's along that line. And Elon's always good to see Elon quotes.
Yeah.
Who has more quotes, Elon or Yogi Berra? That's my one. I want to know.
Yeah. Well, they'll be side by side in future quotation books.
Yes.
All right. Well, more SpaceX. I'll take this one. We got SpaceX Starlink becomes the most downloaded app in Ukraine amid Russia invasion. Country receives more user terminals for internet access. And I'll just jump up here because we have the picture, another picture from the vice prime minister here and head of technology in Ukraine. That a new batch of Starlink stations has arrived. And while Russia is blocking access to the internet, Ukraine is becoming more open to the entire world. Ukraine is the truth. The truth always wins. Thank you, Elon Musk, the government of Poland, and Orlin.
Mm.
So maybe they're coming through Poland? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
They're probably coming in
But,
on the west there, where it's where all the refugees are coming in from. That's kind of wild, and that looks huge. That delivery there. I mean, you can see there's
I mean,
8
just
per
pallets upon pallets
package.
of these
Yeah,
terminals.
and it said in the article, I think it said there's been 100,000 downloads of the app in Ukraine.
Wow.
So I wonder how many people are using each Starlink. It's amazing. Each dish.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to know whether it's just like a momentum thing where people are downloading it just to see, whether they can access the internet through the app. I don't know, but
I don't know.
yeah, I wonder how many users a single dish can feed.
Yeah, so I mean, that's how everyone's letting everyone know that's going on. It's just couldn't happen. Otherwise, they'd be completely cut off without this. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're just sending more and more in, so it's good. One good story coming out of there. Here we have Tesla Giga Berlin may start manufacturing and delivering cars. Oh, they may start, meaning so yes, they can. Says the Minister of the Environment. That is such a great title, the Ministry of the Environment. It sounds like a Monty Python classification. But I think it said the 22nd is when the first car is going to roll out. So that's just 2 days away. We're on the 20th right now. We're recording this.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Elon will be there. He said he wanted to deliver the first car personally to the first owner.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be I I don't know if there'll be a circus or like a carnival like they had the other month, but there will definitely be a ribbon cutting and a celebration there.
Yep. So that'll be some news here in a couple days. So looking forward to
Oh
that.
yes,
And I'm just really
yes,
looking forward to uh, that site ramping up. I mean,
yeah,
for
for
my
you, so
location,
you can
if
get
nothing
one.
else, like I'm ready to see more Teslas on the road here, and I'm hoping I'm trying to figure out, but I'm hoping that they produce right wheel drive cars there. Um, you know,
That would be good.
dude, London over the weekend, uh, there's Teslas everywhere, all with right wheel drive. So they're coming
Really,
from somewhere. I think they're coming from China currently, but I gotta
that's
imagine.
far.
I don't know about England, Brexit and all that, but I gotta imagine that for Ireland they'll come out of Berlin, you know,
I'm
and
sure. They must have a separate assembly because that would be a big market to sell to. So
mhm.
absolutely, yeah, so that'd be great. If they already have them, that means that they do make them in that
Yeah, they
way.
definitely do
That's
make them. I know
fantastic.
that. I
So
mean, you see a few of them here, just
yeah, but
nothing
they're hard to
like
get. I mean, that's far to bring them over to Europe
yeah.
from the two locations. So I'm sure you're going to start seeing them everywhere before you know it.
Yep.
Like London, Ireland will be like London.
Yeah, I can see a big demand for Model Y and Model 3 here,
Oh,
the
I can
smaller
imagine
cars.
a little less than the cost of gasoline.
Yeah, a little bit. It's now when I like nowadays I see some locations maybe like 10 cents lower per liter than the majority of other places. I don't care if I'm like have a full tank, I'll still pull over and fill up just because I'm like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna see this.
keep
It just keeps going up every single
it keeps
day,
going up.
so
I
might
know.
as well
I
grab it.
know. That's right.
Hey, guess what? We got SpaceX landing a booster for the
Oh
12th time.
yes, he's a
All
little
right.
excited. Yeah.
Here we have 2x mile battery Ryan saying microns, not millimeters. This is a quote from Elon. This quote comes from about a year ago when he was talking about Tesla's supply chain and their vendors. And he was encouraging them to help move things along. And he was saying that we want the Model Y specs to be within microns, not millimeters of each other, like
Yeah, that's amazing.
pristine.
That is some Deming engineering.
Yeah, it's cool stuff there. Cool shot. We got some more inspiration here.
Oh, yeah, Elon's. They have a little video here about his 2008 situation where both companies were hungry for cash, and he had to decide if he was going to. I think he was being pressured by a lot of people to say, "Look, you got to save one or the other. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just let one of them go." And he refused to do it. He spent basically the rest of the money he had. I think was that when he put his house up also, or
Mm.
more,
I think he
remortgaged his
borrowed some
house,
money from
borrowed some money,
his
and he really just
family
put
or something.
everything he had into these two companies and to save them both. So one of them could have gone under, and
Yeah.
luckily for us, they made it through both.
Yeah, I like how he compares it to his children.
Oh
Like
yes,
you wouldn't
that's right.
you wouldn't just starve one children if they were both starving. You'd have to
Yes,
split whatever was left.
that's right.
But
It's pretty impressive.
yeah. And the last two here, we have Mars Society. Watched the trailer for Return to Space. I did watch that trailer. It looks pretty cool. Looking forward to that one. It's chronicling SpaceX's historic first astronaut launch. Which,
Yeah, I'm eager to see that.
yeah, I had not realized, but I heard a different perspective or viewpoint on that momentous event, which I remember clearly where I was in my life and stuff. But it correlated with the George Floyd um, really murder in Minneapolis, and there was a lot of negative light placed upon the launch from certain people because of it taking place. I guess really like it was just like and it was also related to Trump's visiting the launch or the
Hmm.
president, visiting the launch when it happened. And there was a lot of frustration about him attending that and not going to Minneapolis to address the situation there.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
guess it
I
was
didn't
more of a
realize that.
Trump thing than a SpaceX
Yeah,
thing issue,
it
but
was a
it
big
was interesting.
accomplishment, but it was overshadowed by other events.
Yeah, it's just an
Yeah.
interesting take on it.
Wow.
All right, I'll
That's
leave you
really
to finish
interesting.
us
I
up here.
can't wait. Yeah. So the last one is actually I haven't seen this one yet. This must have just come through.
Yeah.
But I graduated high school thinking I hated history, only to later realize it was my favorite thing. Good teaching should ignite curiosity. That's great like by Elon because and Tim Urban always has amazing quotes. He followed it up with geology also bored my dick off in eighth grade, and now I can't get enough of it. All right.
Really?
Well,
Geology? I don't know, man. I think
geology
that's
again, it's all about the teacher. So,
it is. It
but
is. It's all
good
about
good
the
teaching.
teacher and the presentation. When I think about this, not to carry this on any longer. We need to wrap this up. But at the Museum of Natural History in London, where we were this past weekend, there's a whole room, like hallway, devoted to rocks, and it's the most fascinating thing, and just the presentation of it really gets you interested in the diversity of rocks and emeralds and minerals that exist on this
Yeah,
planet.
I mean,
It's fascinating.
it shows you with the museum, just the thought and the way it's presented really brings it out.
Yeah.
And also, alluding to, I know Elon's very interested in education, um, teaching and the way things are presented with YouTube and online formats. I think a lot of kids are very engaged in these subjects now, but they're not engaged in them in school. They're interested in them by watching
Mm-hmm.
videos about history and learning. They're going, deep diving on whatever their personal interest is. They're able to go down that hole. When in the past, of course, they could have read a book,
Yeah.
but right now, just different media really makes it more engaging and more of a full picture.
That's a good point. Because, I mean, I think about my favorite days in history class were like watching historic movies, right?
Yes.
Like if you diversify your media and teachings, it could be more engaging. I guess it depends on the student and the teacher. So,
Yeah. So I would say there will always be students who like to read and will dive into a history book, but there's not that many. Most kids who read want fiction. That's their first gateway to reading. And I think that video and audio and museum, like personal presentations, really engage them more. So
yeah.
I'm very hopeful on how you learn. And back to Tim Urban, I think that the best teacher, everyone has access to the best teacher in the world. That's whatever YouTube video is doing it best, rather than
Yep.
just the local. And your school teacher can provide color to that and answer questions, I think.
Yeah.
So we went on a rant, but
Oh,
it's
I
good.
think it's exciting times for education. So I'm
Yeah,
hopeful.
absolutely.
Hopefully, our youth's minds don't explode with the amount of information that they have access to and try to take in every day.
uh, yes. And then I know one more thing to say about that. Sorry,
Yeah.
is the that's why I think the most important class, which is not being taught, is critical thinking
Yeah.
and how to decipher the media you're seeing all the time, because you can educate yourself now and everyone is.
Yeah.
And if the school teaches that and the teacher can act as the guide, that's the best.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Well, on that note, um, if you found this informative, then give it a like and subscribe. We'll be doing this every day. If not, well, leave us some feedback in the comments. We'd really appreciate it. And that'll wrap it up for what Elon said on a liked edition here for Sunday, March 20th, 2022. We'll catch you all next time. Thanks.